to see the stories and issues and concerns that are covered by ethnic media as equal to their own. You know, it would be a very cool thing for all of our stories to be told and our concerns to be held on an equal level.
Thank you. We're going to get into some of the best practices now. What's single advice would you give a communicator thinking about utilizing ethnic media for the first time? Joaquin?
Oh my God, single? I could go on quadruple. So one, don't have it be an add-on. Don't form your campaign and then, figure out the meetings and then figure out everything and then at the last minute oh, we need to get some ads out to the Latino community. Let me buy some ads. Let me send an email. Let me go to the City of Seattle Ethnic Media Directory and just copy all the emails and send out the press release. No. A lot of this stuff, as we all know, especially people of color, everything is relational, and especially in immigrant refugee communities. You gotta meet with people, you gotta meet with them again, and to be honest, if you're going to be starting these relationships with ethnic media around Washington State and Seattle, buy the ads. Really show that you're committed to putting your money where your values are. Buy an ad and then talk with folks, meet with them, and when that time comes where you're like, hey, I want to do an op-ed, or what do you think about this story, or you're pitching an ad for coverage, I'm telling you, people are going to be more likely, and this is just anyone, this is across the board, ethnic media, whatever, they're going to be warmer to, oh yeah, you've shown support and commitment to outreach to the Chinese community, the Japanese community, etc. All right, let's talk more about, the editorial side of things. And to be honest, in a lot of publications, sometimes the editorial side is the same side as the ad side, and so you might be talking to the same person, so it's even better for you. But, so that was a whole lot of stuff, but you got to embed the access from the beginning, right? So you're thinking about interpretation at the community meetings, you're thinking about the flyers, right from the beginning all the way to the end, so that when you're, at that moment where you want to buy the ad, you have flyers that you can base the ad on, you have people who you've talked with, or a group of people who are from the community that can give you advice on how to make the ad, or how to pitch the story, and it makes it so much easier at the end, when it's not an add-on, to move forward and have that really vibrant ethnic media campaign that's part of your overall campaign.
Thank you. Chris?
Now? Yeah. Thinking that. Okay. I can't agree more with what he said. I mean, so much of this business is built on relationships, and as people are building their relationships, a lot of times ethnic media is a second thought. Most people in this room probably know the deadlines to get information to the Times, over to King 5, Cairo, whatever else, but can't even tell you what day of the week the International Examiner comes out, what day the Seattle Medium comes out, what day whenever El Mundo comes out. You don't have that information. And so that's one thing about building these relationships and having a complete relationship with us, which means we not only want to have a relationship with the PR and marketing folks, we want to have our relationships with the people who handle and manage the advertising, your social outreach, everything, so we can understand what your needs are and you can understand our community. One of the other things that I think is important is to everything that you think you know, forget about. Most of the things that apply during your everyday life and how you go about accessing information and calls to action, have no bearing on how you do calls to action and outreach with minority communities, and particularly African American communities. I can't tell you now how many people send out press releases or information and their call to action is visit our website. Well, most African Americans don't want to go to a website and start digging and trying to find things. I mean, they much rather have either a phone number that they can call, an email address they can send and get more information. They'd rather do that first than just see. I mean, if I see something that says, go to our website for more information, more than likely I'm not going there. But other communities, you have that people see it, say, hey, and they click on there and they start digging around and find the information that they need. So those are just some of the things, and knowing the audience that you're trying to reach as well. With, like I said, our community is so diverse. I mean, it's you reach some of the older demographics in different ways than you reach the younger demographics. And so that's important too, to know your messaging, who you're trying to reach, how you're trying to reach them. And you can only do that when you have these relationships with us, so we can give you some of the best ways in order to make that happen for you.
Thank you.
Roberta,
Sian?
can I-
Oh, sorry. We'll get you, Amelia.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Great. Sorry, what was the question again? Can you repeat it?
What advice do you give to a communicator thinking about utilizing ethnic media for the first time?
Okay, great. I think first you need to understand that ethnic media is not the same as mainstream media. They should be treated more as community organizations because of their deep ties with the community. For example, KUNS organizes one of the largest Mexican Independence Day events in the city. The IE is a media sponsor of the ID Street Fair. The Seattle Medium has a great presence at the Pee Wee football events, reaching thousands of people. And so when you're talking about integration, think about creating a relationship with them from the start and integrating events, outreach with earned media and media buys as well. The second really important piece, I think, is thinking about your creative. So even before you're thinking about where you're going to, think about your creative and how it speaks to the audience that you're trying to speak to and that's relevant. And one example that we worked on recently with Mark at King County Metro and Orca Lift was we designed ads that used real people from the community and talking to them about how taking advantage of Orca Lift would put more money back in their pocket and have a ripple effect into their business, how they spend time with their family. And so we had, ads in Spanish featuring Latino family. We had an ad with featuring a Somali small business owner. And so when we placed the ad, we knew that, this story can resonate with that community. So that all just was derived from the creative part of it.
Thank you. And Amalia?
Yeah, actually that's great. And to add on to what Sian said, which is great, you know, with ethnic media, you can really dig deeper and use all of the other benefits that they offer, and some non-traditional media like church flyers, especially for reaching Latino communities. But two things quickly is one thing that we hear sometimes when people come to us and want us to reach different ethnic communities is they say, can you get this into a Spanish newspaper? And we say, well, most likely, but let's talk about the strategy, right? And they said, well, they should just publish it because it's good for the community. So yes, they are kind of like a community organization, but they are a business first, right? So we don't like to treat them just like you should because it's good for your community. The Times doesn't do things because it's good for the community, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is really, we spend a lot of time with our clients, like the City of Seattle and Washington Dental Service Foundation, to make sure that we understand the audience we're trying to reach. So it's a lot of researching what they know about the topic that you're trying to educate them on, and spending that time up front, and that really helps you build really powerful messaging that speaks to the problem you're trying to solve. And with Honest Elections, when we got to work with Fuse and Sightline, it was really, bullet 5 on the general market messaging was really the message that we led with for the Latino community, and it was really great to have a general market communication practitioner give us the freedom to interject our expertise to make sure that the message was on point.
Mohamud?
Yeah, I would like to add a little bit more. If you try, you will never, lose anything. You have all these people. When you combine them as a number, they're huge. And if you want to just try it, and you may miss a gold mine out there. So we can help, and we would love to have you in our business. And our people will appreciate, to see you in our papers, in our TVs. So just be courageous and come to us.
Thank you. And Chris?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up to what Sian was saying in terms of creative. And one of the things I think people should avoid or not do at all is to do this big group picture trying to show the diversity of your organization.
Amen.
And the conversation about that goes like this. You see it, and let's say, for instance, and I see my friend Val over there, me and Val see the thing, and we have a conversation, so they probably got every ethnic person they have in their office involved in this picture, and none of them have any, they're not doing anything of significance in the organization. They might be a receptionist, they might be somebody who parks cars. I mean, you never know, but that's how the conversation goes, and we don't pay any attention to it. And much rather, I think it's better to, in your creative, to show the diversity by actually showing the impact of diversity within your organization, who's doing things, how they've advanced, how they're helping the bottom line of your company, and how they enjoy what they're doing and the experience they're having within your organization, rather than just saying, oh, let's get this group shot, put it on there and say we value diversity, because you know, you're probably going to get negative mileage in a lot of communities as opposed to some positive mileage.
Thank you. Are there specific topics that strike a chord with your audience? Teresa?
I'd like to, if you don't mind, I wanted to make a comment about what we just talked about. I would say, don't be afraid. We're human beings. You know, it is about relationships. And, you know, we've been very fortunate. You know, we have folks like Amalia, Sinara, Maria from Latina Creative Agency, C+C. We've done some great things, you know, specific projects that have been very successful. Messaging, Bridge Latino, Tere Carral. We're very fortunate. We do have some agencies here that we can go to and get that messaging. But there's a lot of my business is a lot of local directs. Well, I'm a Latina. I'm speaking English. Yeah, you can relate to me. Soy mujer. Tengo muchas ideas. I can help you get your message.